welcome to TJD, episode 68. We watched Trainspotting 2.
I'm Ty.
Jake.
And I'm Drew.
I kind of forgot what I was doing.
You were introducing the pod.
Yeah, but I forgot everything that had happened, or how many we've done, or what we just watched.
How old are you?
I don't know.
What's your mother's name?
Mm-hmm.
You could really say anything.
Dave?
Dave.
Good answer.
Could have said anything, that was a female name to make it somewhat believable. We live in a progressive household.
I was about to say
You were
that.
sired by two males.
Because when you think of me,
You scream progressive.
You think of progressive.
The car company.
Yep, alright. So this movie is about Mark Renton going back to Scotland after 20 years to see Begbie. Well, he's not going there looking for Begbie.
No, he is trying to avoid him.
But Begbie's there.
Yeah.
Spud and Sick Boy. And it's kind of just a trip through memory lane. And it's kind of I don't know how to word it. I mean, I guess we'll just jump into it. It's not really a movie about heroin. It's a movie about getting old.
Yep.
Which I liked a lot because you have such a gap between the first and the second that it's literally so nostalgia filled to see them all in the same locales. Minnesota.
Is that a low fat cow?
Yeah, something like that.
Low calorie cow.
But they're going to all these familiar locations, like when they go out to the field where they went hiking in the first movie, and the bar. I believe the bar they're in is the bar that they're drinking in for most of the first movie, and you come to find out it's because Sick Boy's aunt or something owned it, and it was passed down to him, and that's just what he's been doing for 20 years, and yeah,
I think the apartment building is the same that one of them lived in the first one as well. That the one Spud's living in, I think, isn't that where Ewan McGregor was living in the first one? I thought.
Oh, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked familiar. It looked like the one he lived in because you only saw it a couple times, but I just remember when the girl came over to ask if he was HIV positive, if he had been tested, and then they hung out smoking weed. So.
And not only that, but they do a lot of the same editing, or they'll frame stuff the same way, or they'll play musical cues that really take you back. And I just call that a pro, whatever the fuck you want to call that. Nostalgia. It's outstanding in this movie.
There's a lot of throwbacks.
Oh yeah. I found myself at odd times when I saw it in the theater just getting choked up, and I don't know why. It's just because it hits the right notes sometimes. And that iconic, it's I can't remember the name of the song. It's Born Slippy, Underworld, that end song from the first movie. They'll play little keys from that every now and then. And you're just holy shit, where did time go? I remember watching this so long ago, and here we are now, you've aged with them. I don't know, it's weird. I can't think of another movie that made me feel the way that this one made me feel.
I would kind of say another movie that came out in 2017 as well, Logan. Because you saw Hugh Jackman that first time, and then you see him in Logan, and you're just God, years have gone by.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, when was X-Men? 99?
99 or 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know X2 was 03, so I don't remember if X-Men was 99 or 2000. But yeah, that's the only other film I could think of. But the difference is you saw Hugh Jackman more on a regular basis, whereas these, you saw these actors on a regular basis, but you didn't see these characters on a regular basis.
Right. Yeah, Hugh Jackman had multiple movies to get fleshed out and go do things, and these guys you've had two, and that was it. Which
Ewan McGregor still looks very good.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
Those Star Wars movies really helped a bit.
Yeah. Honestly, all of them are in pretty good shape for, the amount of time that's gone by.
Bremner looked a little rough.
Well, Bremner was never really, you know what I mean?
No,
he's gained a little weight.
as I say, the balding, and then like he had a lot of bags under his eyes, which I granted was probably a lot of makeup too, but because he was supposed to look like he's lived a rough life because he's been
doing heroin.
Well, he's still a junkie.
He's still a heroin addict. Yeah, he had been clean for a little bit because he lived with his. He had a wife and a kid for a while, and then they got divorced. So
right. It's a sadder movie, I think, than the first one.
No, it's such a... Well, that first one is really
sadder?
sad.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to...
I think they're two different types of sad.
Right. The first movie's not a picnic by any means.
No!
Like, you have dead babies, you have bad shit happening. But, like we said during Requiem, it's kind of a lighthearted heroin movie. Like...
More, I would say.
Okay, it's a more lighthearted heroin movie
than Requiem. Yes,
right,
absolutely.
But there's a lot of shit that's lighthearted compared to Requiem.
I think with this though, it's more so like I don't know if you can compare them really because it's like you said before, it's about two totally different things.
Right. And
like this movie in particular focuses on getting older, the stuff you have to deal with in your life, people not being there, your parents not necessarily not being there, or you just go through a lot of changes,
right,
and adapting to those changes.
Which, as we speak about that, I'm gonna say some of those shots in here were eerie as shit, or like just so awesome. Like when Spud is trying to sober up, but like you see his shadow. What his shadow wants to do is go in the bag and grab all the heroin, but Spud's sitting in the corner like
trying to fight it.
Yeah, he's like no. Or then when Ewan McGregor first comes back, he sees his dad, and you see the shadow of his mom sitting in the chair while they're at the table, and I was like, that is creepy.
Right.
That is eerie, and that made me think, oh, he came back for the funeral. Mm-hmm. So, and that wasn't the case, but yeah, it just some of that was just so awesome.
The shots are great. I love them. I would definitely call it a pro.
I got another pro. The editing in this movie is completely fucking insane. Mm-hmm. Like, the amount of cuts in, like, one, like, like, I don't know, one scene, like, they go into the bar, like, it's fucking insane how many cuts are going on to get all of it to still come out coherent, let alone to sync it up to music or sound effects or any of that, is mind-boggling. I edited a fucking pod, barely, and I can hardly do that shit. I can't even wrap my mind around watching this, because it's like, oh, holy shit. Like, whoever edited it is great at their fucking craft. Just chopping it up and fitting it together so nice.
Like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Do you think it was the same guy who did the first one? Because I remember specifically you pointing out on the very first pod that we did that the editing was awesome, which it totally is. And I just remember some of the scenes, like when Renton goes back to the cook for, I think it was the last time, just to get one more hit, and then he takes the hit and
he falls into
that carpet, and that whole thing, the way that was edited, the way that when he's running off to go get his last hit from the bar, he jumps over that fence and he's already at the place. Like, just I hope it was the same guy, because that would explain why it was so great.
Edited by a guy named John Harris, who he did 127 Hours, which is another Danny Boyle movie. So I'm guessing. Let me look here. He did Snatch, which makes a lot of sense, because Snatch is kind of the same.
Has a shit ton of cuts, yeah.
Let's see.
He's done a great body of work. Yeah, that's another good one.
Goddamn.
He's got a great body of work.
Kick-Ass. Trance. He did not do the original.
No?
No.
Well, they got a good guy nonetheless.
Yeah, outstanding. He did Kingsman too.
Really?
Yeah. Which I'm a little...
I loved Kingsman, so I thought it was a lot of fun.
Kind of had the same problem with that I had with the new Spider-Man kid.
What's that?
You're young, and I hate you.
Oh. You hate the youth.
Yeah.
The youth of the nation.
Get in my well.
He's too big for my well.
Tom Holland, what are you doing here? Get in my well.
He's not an adult quite yet, but I can't fit him in the well and just keep him down there.
Build a bigger well.
Oh.
Build a better mousetrap.
Guess I have to step my game up.
Mm-hmm.
To the streets.
Step up to the streets?
Oh, he said step up to the streets. That was a terrible joke, Ty.
But you're laughing.
I'm gonna have to kill you now.
I think I'll build a well around your height.
Wait, just as tall as me? I'll easily get
You
out.
can literally jump out of it. Except I'm going to cut off your arms.
Oh, well then that'll make things difficult.
Unless you can grab the ledge with your teeth, you're going to have a really hard time getting out. But when you get out, you're going to have a fucking great core. Because holy shit. That's a game show I'd watch.
Better than your other one.
It is better than the other one. Except I would combine those shows.
How do you do that?
Produced by Bill Cosby.
Wow.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah.
If I learned one thing growing up in America, it's that you can get away with anything.
As long as you say allegedly?
No, as long as you have money.
Yeah. Money.
Oh.
Money buys your freedom. That's what I tell the kids in the well. Because I know they don't have any money.
No Richie Riches?
Nope. That's a kid that deserves to get thrown in a well, though.
Did you even see that movie as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Richie Rich was my fucking jam as a kid.
Dude, it was Macaulay Culkin.
Dad not found. Oh, my God, dude. I watched Richie Rich. Probably every fucking day. With the Pagemaster and Home Alone. Yeah, that was my jam.
So, it's like Macaulay Culkin, like, your...
I have a shrine.
Oh, okay.
But yet you didn't go see his Pizza Underground band?
No. That was too terrible to go watch.
He draws the line at music. Like, movie, sure. Music, nah.
All right.
Trainspotting 2.
Hope you catch that one.
T2 Judgment Day?
Yeah, that did confuse me a little bit.
T2.
Why'd they call it T2 Trainspotting?
I won't lie, I was fucking perplexed when I heard T2. I was like, what is T2? Like, somebody texted me and was like, there's a trailer for T2. And I'm like, are they bringing Terminator back to theaters?
I mean,
because I'd be fucking down.
You don't want to go see Genesis again?
No. I don't think you could pay me to watch Genesis.
What was the other one?
$100.
Rise of the Machines?
That was the third one. Yeah. Salvation, yeah,
that's the other one.
Oh yeah, Salvation. I was like, Christian Bale can't fuck this up.
And then you hear about him yelling at somebody on set. You're like, well...
Which made it better for me. And then I watched the movie and I was like,
It was okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
After Genesis, it's a fucking masterpiece.
What about compared to 3?
3 just had weird bullshit in it. When he puts on Elton John's glasses and, like, she's inflating her tits and... Why?
Yeah. The ending was pretty damn good, though.
Or all the bombs go off anyway?
Yeah.
Shit.
It's fucking T3. I don't care.
Yeah. Spoilers!
For a movie that's, 15 years old?
I've never seen it.
That's kind of universally not really liked?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, there is a nice twist at the end. I mean, not it. Like, Jake gave away the big ending, but there's still a twist.
The way they did it was nice.
Yeah, the way they did it was interesting. So
how do we feel about this T2? Better or worse than the other T2?
It can't compare to
No,
Terminator
they're literally
2.
so different that I can't even imagine.
I don't have what's his name like as a blob, like a Capri Sun cooler slider guy.
The T1000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not in this movie. You know, Capri Sun ripped that off.
Did they?
Well, I mean,
was that whole campaign after that movie though?
I'm pretty sure.
Probably. That campaign was probably like mid-90s.
Yeah.
And then they just ripped off the Silver Surfer, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
In appearance, I guess.
Yeah.
Not really function.
Nope. Or powers.
Yeah, because Power Cosmic didn't let you turn into a blob of shit, right?
No. Nor to turn into a guy who flies a helicopter.
With an extra hand, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he have an extra hand? What a great movie. All right.
Anyways. T2's, it's very good. It's very emotional. Like you said, there were definitely parts of this where I was like, I really don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
It was nice watching Spud seem to overcome his demons a little bit, though.
Yeah, I was proud of Spud.
Mm-hmm. I like that Simon didn't go by Sick Boy anymore. Shows he grown. The one thing I really wanted more of was more interaction with the girl from the first one. She's a lawyer in this. She barely shows up. It's a wink to the audience for the most part. I wanted something more there. I ain't saying they needed to end up together. I just wanted something more.
A little bit more than one scene, basically.
Yeah.
I thought it was... It's weird because, like, it'd be hard to work everybody into, after 20 years. Like, you have to think of basically lives for these people that probably didn't have lives planned out. Like, he did make a sequel called Porno, but I've heard that this is pretty different from the book that Irvin Welsh actually wrote.
From what I read on Wikipedia, like, they took parts of Porno and mixed it with elements of Trainspotting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because I think Veronica was still kind of a character.
Oh.
But not... I don't think it plays out the same way that it did in Porno. But, I don't know, I kind of like that it was just like a quick thing. And I think the reason I like it is because it also shows that Renton hasn't really gotten over it. Like, there's that moment where he's doing the choose life speech, and he's like, choose settling and, never knowing what you could have had, and it shows him looking at her, and you're like, fuck, like, I didn't know he felt that way. Like, because when you watch that scene, he just goes in, they talk about the case, and that was it. And I don't know, I guess it kind of showed that she'd grown beyond them. I mean, they're all kind of degenerates.
Yeah.
And fuck-ups.
I mean, out of all of them, he was the one who... Denton? Renton did the best.
Right.
But then his life has gone to shit.
Yeah. He's getting divorced.
He had no kids. He lied about that.
He's got a fucking heart problem.
He's gonna get fired, lose his job.
Yeah.
So, he has no money. His wife's taking everything. So.
It's kind of crazy to think how easily you can think you have your shit together and then you're back to where you were. Sure, it happens all the time.
Yeah. I kind of felt bad for the guy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, then he goes right back into being kind of a degenerate. But it's an easy life.
It is a quick way to make money.
It is. How do you think they're gonna, like, I mean, we're giving away the ending to this, but, I mean, we'll throw up a spoiler. Yeah. So, we'll just put a spoiler warning. But,
spoilers.
How do you think they go about getting money again now that they lost $100,000? Also, don't they have to somehow repay that?
Not if you're a degenerate.
I don't know if you'd have to repay it. Depends on what kind of loan it is. I have no idea. Because the way they presented it was like, we're going to better the community. Mm-hmm. So if the building never changes and nothing happens, then they might be like, what the fuck?
I was going to say, yeah, then can't the state come at them for that money then?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say the state, but the government. Because England's, it's a small country.
Yeah, the Queen will come at them.
Ooh.
On them. I didn't follow that either.
No.
That's a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to say, the band?
Yeah, because they're still doing shit.
Actually, aren't they coming to Omaha?
Who's their lead singer?
Adam Lambert.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Does he sound like Freddie Mercury?
I don't think so.
Then
But
why?
because he was on American Idol, wasn't he?
I don't care.
He's been their lead singer for a couple years now. But yeah,
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they're coming to Omaha.
That's not Queen.
It has Brian May. It has like two.
Sorry, much like Sublime with Rome, that's not Sublime either.
Or,
Sorry.
Or Journey with that Korean lead singer.
They have a Korean lead singer?
Yes. Like the only English I've heard he knows is the lyrics to the Journey songs.
But he's actually not bad, though.
Is
He
really?
does sound a lot like Steve Perry.
Steve Perry might be the ugliest motherfucker I've ever seen.
I said
sorry.
he sounds like, not looks
I know.
like.
I had to say it because every time I see him, I'm like, God damn, you're an ugly guy. And I don't shit on appearance that much, but fuck him. He's got money. He's not dead, is he?
No.
What's he
Also, I
doing?
think he's like kind of an introvert. I think the reason he kind of left Journey, if I remember right, one was creative differences, and two, he hated being like in public.
Oh, he's not a crowd guy.
No.
I don't blame him.
Really?
Thanks for saying my last name.
Fuck!
Please catch that one.
Yes, I will. 24-minute mark.
Yeah, I don't want the feds to show up at my office. We finally found him. Get those kids out of that well. But it's not real.
I was going to say, you have them at the office now?
Yeah, the kids are at the office. No, how freaky would that be? They show up and I'm like, it isn't real. And they show up and I actually have a well and I don't remember actually doing any of the shit. And it's actually been real the whole time.
Dude, that's like some Split kind of shit.
I was going to say, that's like some Fight Club shit.
Yeah, it's like some terrible Goosebumps ending twist bullshit.
You came up with it.
Yep.
You're R.L. Stein.
Yeah. J.K.
You said it again.
I know. I'm just keeping Ty on his toes.
Oh, this is going to be bullshit.
It's gonna be bullshit.
You know what? I'm just going to leave one in.
Nope. I will tear the internet down. You'll be like, wow, I was in the middle of the pod and it's just gone. What about cons?
Well, like I said, I kind of gave mine with the girl not having as much of a role. I kind of wish they had even just like gave a nod to some other character. Like they mentioned, one had died. I think the chef had died.
Yeah,
from the first
Swan.
The cook had died. Whatever happened to Sick Boy's girlfriend, the one who actually had the baby, the one they're pretty sure Sick Boy was the father of the baby.
Right.
And the girl, whatever happened to her? They never really mentioned that. Because they even bring back that whole thing about the baby dying.
Right.
Why not at least just in passing mention what happened to the girl?
Maybe she didn't want to come back?
Well, I'm just saying, they could have just been like, hey...
Mentioned it.
Yeah.
Write her out,
or
someone acknowledge it.
Flashback to her, like a picture of her from the first movie, and they'd be like, oh yeah, she went to asylum. She couldn't handle not being on it. So...
I hear you.
Or, and just same with all of those. I mean, yes, you get the nod with the one girl. They mentioned the guy died, but then you don't know what happened to her. You don't know what happened to the girl that, what's his name? The Tommy? Or
Tommy's girlfriend?
Yeah, Tommy's girlfriend. Like, she leaves him in the first one, but you kind of don't know what happened to her.
Right.
Wasn't there another girl who hung around with them, too?
Well, Spud's girlfriend.
Oh,
so the wife.
She's the first, from the first one?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yep, same girl.
Really?
Yep.
He married the girl who he shit in her sheets.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
That's how you know it's true love.
Is you can shit in their sheets.
If you stay with somebody after they shit in your sheets, after you had a one-night stand, well, not a one-night stand, but the first time you ever slept with them.
Such a great
or attempted to, because that shit didn't happen the first time.
Man, he got Cleveland Steamer the first time?
Yeah.
You usually have to pay for that.
I know. Oh. What a perfect name for that. Because Cleveland
Steamer
is a piece of shit.
Yep. Only in Cleveland.
Not according to Drew Carey.
Ah.
Cleveland rocks, according to Drew Carey.
Yeah, that was long ago.
Yes. I did like that show though, up until like the last season. That last season, shit. But
I used to watch it all the time, but I don't remember a fucking thing about it.
Ryan Stiles is in it.
That's true.
and Diedrich Bader.
What more do you need?
Exactly. And what's his name? Ferguson or whatever.
Craig
Ferguson. I actually do enjoy Craig Ferguson.
I like Craig Ferguson.
I loved his late night show. I was so mad when he did get bumped up when Letterman left.
Mm-hmm.
So, but and
who has his show now?
Oh shit, he used to be on SNL.
Not Jimmy Fallon.
Not Jimmy Fallon. Seth Meyers.
Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
Wow. The Weekend Update guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
The guy literally couldn't do anything else because he's
really grasping at straws.
Yeah. I think they're going for the whole Jimmy Fallon thing. Or no, is it?
Seth Meyers is funny to watch because every time he delivers a joke that goes over moderately well, he looks so proud of himself.
He always like smiles like really wide.
Like
it's either him or that James Corbin guy, or Corden.
Is that the motherfucker that's always driving around singing with people?
Yeah, karaoke in the car. Yeah. James. I almost said James Groban, but that's
someone else.
Yeah, completely different.
Better show.
He can be funny. When he appears on shows, he's been pretty funny because he can be self-deprecating. So
I don't even know who it is really.
Oh, okay.
Or
no, that's Josh Groban. Sorry, I was thinking Josh Groban.
Oh,
the singer. He plays the piano.
So who's James Groban?
No one, because I was thinking of Josh Groban.
Josh has a brother or something.
Ooh, maybe.
You don't know his brother though?
No. I don't even know Josh Groban that well. Except he was on an episode of Parks and Rec.
All right.
I do have a con.
Yeah.
Albeit a minor one. Begbie. When Begbie escapes the hospital, the police don't come after him.
They search for him for like an hour. And they're like, whatever.
Begbie goes back to his wife and his kids' place and is basically staying there.
Mm-hmm.
Basically living there. And you don't even see the cops come by one time.
So, I tried to find a reason online. I can't find a fucking reason online. Because at first I thought, well, if it's just his girlfriend, like he had a girlfriend at the time. Because in the first movie, he never acknowledges he even is seeing anyone.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going out drinking and he's a prick and that's it. So I thought, well, maybe it's a girl that he was screwing around with that got pregnant and he went to jail. When you go to jail, I don't think you have to declare that you're fucking in a relationship with someone.
No.
And I wouldn't really expect someone to wait around for 20 years when you got out. So I thought, well, if it was just a chick that he knocked up, fine. But I read online, it is his wife. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense. It legitimately, that's the first place I would go.
Like,
And she even says that. She's like, wouldn't the cops be after you? He goes, why do you think I came in through the window?
And that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, I would understand,
the cops would be following up every day.
If they missed him or something like that. But, like, just have them come by, like, once and say, have you seen your husband?
Mm-hmm.
Has he shown up here?
And she might lie for him. And the other thing is you don't really see him, like he comes in, he gets a bag and he tries to, get it up for her and he can't. But I don't know if he's living there. Like he might just get his shit and go, but it isn't really specified what the fuck's going on. Like is he just chilling there? Well, so I'd agree. It's not the most clear, and if it's his wife, which everything says it is, that kind of doesn't make sense. Yeah. All you would need is her to be like, the cops would come by looking for you. Like
that's it. That's all you need.
But you never, at least that I heard, I never heard anyone say anyone was looking for him.
It's a small thing, but I just thought it was noticeable, and I don't know, it was just kind of weird. Tried
to find an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
God damn you, Danny Boyle.
It happens. Like some things just get overlooked sometimes in movies.
Like a criminal breaking out of prison.
Yeah.
They were like, nah,
whatever.
just let him go.
I mean, it happens in Gotham City all the time.
Yeah.
Hello, RoboBitch here. Jake has requested my help in warning you all of what is about to come. The boys are going to spoil parts of The Shawshank Redemption, The Sixth Sense, War of the Planet of the Apes, The Book of Eli, The Crying Game, Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th, Jurassic Park, Saw 7, and Transformers. We apologize profusely, but most of these are old enough that the majority of the public has seen them. We just found this part funny and cutting it out straight up fucked the podcast up. This is your warning, if you have not seen those movies, abandon ship now.
Or Shawshank. Once they get out, they're just like, meh.
Yeah.
Warden blew his head off. What do we care?
Yeah.
Let's just ruin every movie. I'm gonna shut up now.
That movie's pretty old, but still.
Yeah.
That thing played on TNT like every summer when I was growing up. Like every day, every summer. So
It's past the statute of limitations.
Yes.
Yeah, there
All
should
right.
be a spoiler statute of limitations.
if it's pretty much been on TNT in syndication, it's past.
Okay, Bruce Willis is a ghost.
Okay, now we're
No, too much?
yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you ruin War of Planet of the Apes?
The monkey's Moses.
Wow. Okay. Book of Eli.
He's blind. Keep going.
All right.
The Crying Game. There's a penis.
Damn it! I actually did think of that one.
Sleepaway Camp. There's a penis.
Really?
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
It's his mom.
Yes.
We're gonna have to cut this whole thing. Or the one listener we have will be like, "Fuck you guys."
I haven't seen any of those movies.
Jurassic Park.
They're dinosaurs.
No, human is a really real enemy. Humanity for trying to play God.
Oh, that's what it was?
No, I'm just messing around.
I mean, he kind of... Alright, fuck it. We're gonna cut that anyway. I don't want to ruin, like, 9 movies.
The part gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Saw 7.
Everyone dies. For the most part.
Actually, I know you haven't seen it, and I really kind of want to spoil it.
You already
I'm pretty
did.
sure you've already ruined
You
that.
already did.
Okay.
Dr. Gordon is the overall villain of the piece.
So stupid.
Actually, it's done pretty
You
well.
keep saying that. It's so fucking stupid.
Watch
Like,
it, I'm gonna pick it.
That would take, like, all the fucking greatness out of the first one.
I'm gonna pick it.
God,
He wasn't the overall, like, Jigsaw took him under his wing, but
Because everyone's in on it.
He was a piece
Yeah.
of the puzzle.
he wasn't in on it. He just figured it out afterwards.
Those movies are nonsense. The amount of suspended disbelief you have to follow the chain of events in that fucking series is stupid. Would you not agree?
Yes, it gets ridiculous in the middle. It does. I will wholeheartedly agree.
Unless
I
he
think
can
it's-
totally look into the future, there's no fucking
I
way.
think Saw 6 like got political because it dealt with healthcare. Like
Oh,
like
God.
the
Yeah, I did.
the one of the people was like like the main guy was like an insurance agent, and he kept screwing over people, like the CEO of an insurance company.
And Jigsaw himself was denied healthcare.
Yep.
Yeah, cancer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. They're like, your claim was denied.
Mm-hmm. He's like, everybody should have a right to be treated. So yeah, they got political. I was like, holy shit, this one is not being subtle about it at all.
Nope.
Just like when, the third Purge came out the year Donald Trump was elected. I mean, that would just happen to be by chance, but it's like, holy shit, this is actually going to happen.
Yeah.
No.
I get to work just fine.
Transformers. What's the spoiler in that?
Cars transform into robots.
I've never seen it. Thanks for ruining it.
Megan
Dick.
Fox is terrible at acting.
She's hot, though.
She is hot as shit.
God, that first movie was great.
Uh,
It's like, this is everything I've ever wanted in one movie.
and then they kept going.
Yep. You can't have too much of a good thing.
Yes. Can't. You know what? I actually think the third one's the best.
Oh my god.
Where they bring Shia LaBeouf back? Wait. No, he was there. Never mind.
I was like, what you
Sorry,
mean?
I pretend the second one didn't happen.
That's a good thing because the second one is crap.
I saw it at midnight.
Yeah, with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
I had an awkward date with it. Like,
that was a birthday present. I was like, well, this is the last year. I'm going to kill myself tonight.
After watching this 2.5 hour film.
It's like, well, that robot's got wrecking ball testicles.
Well, the two robots are extremely racist.
Right. I remember looking around like, is this happening right now? People were just like, oh, they're so funny. I'm like, yeah. They're fucking hilarious. Not?
What was better, that or Green Inferno?
Oh. Green Inferno was pretty bad.
But it was hilarious.
We had a lot of fun watching it. That dude that was jerking off in the cage and talking about the girl with koala teeth. That was pretty fun. Much like the Fantastic Four movie theater experience, the Green Inferno experience was high because of the people that were there.
Ghostbusters or Transformers 2?
The new Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Why do you do this to me? I would rather watch Transformers.
2.
Yes.
Okay. Of course, I'd rather watch Transformers. That's...
Which would you pick?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Probably Ghostbusters just because
it's shorter.
Gosh, that film feels like forever.
Was it not 3 hours long?
It was 2 hours and like 40 minutes.
The female Ghostbusters
movie?
No.
That's like 2 hours. That's like 2 hours. No, Transformers 2 is like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Holy fuck.
And they each kept getting longer. Like this last one, 3 hours and 6 minutes.
Wow.
Who the fuck wants to watch King Arthur and Optimus Prime for 3 hours and 6 minutes?
Michael Bay.
Or some dude getting a hand job in the back row.
For 3 hours?
Yeah. His stamina's outstanding.
It's gonna be raw.
Or there's just gonna be a giant puddle of fucking jizz. Just a 3 hour jerk sesh.
Or lube.
The theater people come in and are like, wow, the movie was that good.
Was Michael Bay here? I'd imagine Michael Bay just constantly masturbates to those movies.
To his own movies.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Oh! Because he did Bad Boys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck. Ew, Liv Tyler.
Right.
Said no one ever.
Steve Buscemi.
Guy that was in that one show on Fox where it was 4 people inside the guy's head.
Which show was that?
I think it was like Herman's Head or something like that.
You have all the deep cuts, Ty.
It sounds like a canceled Fox show.
It definitely was.
You have to be more specific. There's too many of those.
Greg the Bunny.
Herman's
Andy Richter Controls the Universe?
Oh yeah, that got canceled, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was right. Herman's Head. Wow. It actually lasted for 3 seasons.
Wow. What year was this that we had nothing better to watch?
1994 was the last season.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Hank Azaria, Yeardley Smith. So they had 2 Simpsons in there? Huh. Ken Hudson Campbell is the big guy you would know. And Peter McKenzie. Yeah.
So what do we think about Trainspotting?
It's better than Herman's Head.
That's good. All right. We'll see you next week.
No, it's a lot like the first one. I mean, you could literally, besides the drug reference, take all the drug references from the first one and put in old age and like growing up. You have our same pod from the first one.
So, I guess we could touch on this. I don't know if you already looked it up, but this kind of had like a lukewarm reception.
Really?
People didn't really like it. Was right in like the 60s on Metacritic.
I was gonna say it's a 78 on Rotten Tomatoes, 81 though on users. So it's higher for a user than it is for critic.
Do you think that's because the focal point of the movie isn't about drugs? Because that was what the first one was and it kind of embodied.
I mean, you still get drugs.
Yeah, because they do heroin.
Yeah.
But they're not really like a big part of the story anymore. Mm-hmm. It's more like you know the characters and you know how they cope with it, but it's still going on for some of them, but it isn't, I don't know, it's not at the foreground, I guess. It's kind of been pushed into the background.
Mm-hmm. Did you check out the negative reviews at all to see what they might have said or the consensus?
A lot of people just say that they came back and cashed in on nostalgia. And that's all the movie was parading around and celebrating the original, and that it brought nothing new, really.
Here, like on Flickster, which is pretty much Rotten Tomatoes, a user review, 1 star. Worst film we've seen this year, an absolute abomination, was just a rehash of memories of the first.
Wow.
This is a perfect example of a movie that didn't need to be made. Save yourself some time and frustration and go watch the original. What made the original movie great is that it was a peek into the lives of a bunch of arseholes who were only friends because of going to school together and a shared love of drugs. This movie was a great opportunity to look at what happens to this group 20 years later, how they deal with addiction, how friendships that were created by default can become weird and strained in life.
Is that not this movie?
I know.
No, it is.
And how characters have evolved. Instead, we get a fucking rehash of the first movie. The humor is gone and replaced with plenty of, hey, remember this from the first movie? Wasn't that a great scene? The characters have become exaggerated, two-dimensional versions of themselves and show no growth in 20 years since the first movie or within this movie itself. One scene in particular where Renton and Sick Boy take heroin, supposedly for the first time in 20 years, just happens, and then they are back to normal. No talk about the relapse, just a few flashbacks to the old movie, then on with the plot. New characters are not developed in any way. Old characters have cameos with no explanation, and there are plenty of shots either copied or literally ripped from the first movie. If you really need more Sick Boy, Renton, Begbie, and Spud in your life, then throw this on in the background before watching the first one again.
Bullshit. To pretty much everything he said.
I did mention the cameos kind of just being there and not like exploring that.
Who showed up where you went, who the fuck are they?
Yeah, no one. Well, Veronica, but
that's not a cameo though. She wasn't in the original.
But they did say like new characters didn't get developed, and Veronica, like, she did get developed, but I still kind of wondered about all of her motives. You kind of get at the end like, oh, she did this for her family, but it is kind of like, is she really just fucking around with Simon? Does she really like him, or like, you know?
I don't think this movie is a rehash of the first one.
No, I don't think it's.
And here's the thing:
it's like comparing Clerks and Clerks 2.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like we already said, there's parts they'll play musical notes. They'll run down, like the part where Spud's in the street and he sees the guys running down. He remembers, you know, when him and Renton were running. And they got, pinched and they went to jail. Or at least Spud went to jail and Mark got to go do whatever. He had to go to rehab.
Yeah.
But, like, they're not... I don't feel like they're cashing in on nostalgia. I don't think Danny Boyle's a director that would come out after 20 years and go, why don't we make more money off that Trainspotting movie? Like, I really think it's just a celebration of the characters in the first movie, and he's trying to just wrap it up. Because, go ahead.
I think it's funny that they say this about this kind of movie, but where's all that talk from, the actual movies that are made for... I mean, all movies are made to make a profit. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. But I'm talking about, like, ones that are just pumped out. Pumped out for the sake of being pumped out, like
like the Transformers films.
Like any sequel movie is just pumped out for the sake of, like, they don't give two shits about anything other than making a quick buck. But a movie like this that has so much has a big following, and the story's fantastic. And then they go and decide to do it 20 years later. I don't think that's like purposely trying to cash in on something like that. I think they had a story to tell, and I think they did it brilliantly. And for them to say that it was just a quick way to make money, and they're relying too much on their first movie to drive the second movies, it's stupid.
Right. And, like, I don't know, you have the part where Spud's writing, and he's like, first there's an opportunity. He's, like, breaking down what's already happened, but it's kind of a flaw with, people. It's not really a movie trope. They're not copying the plot of the first thing. It's, here's the way it went, and here's how it always goes. Somebody gets a large sum of money, there's an opportunity to fuck someone over, and then you get stabbed in the back. That's just...
Which... He didn't know it, but he was foreshadowing...
everything that was going to happen.
So, and now I'm wondering, when he ran in to warn them, was he telling them about Veronica or Bigby?
Begbie?
Begbie, sorry.
I think he was telling them about Begbie. But I think he knew everything that was going on with Veronica because they rode the bus, and I'm assuming that's when he went and forged all the signatures. Mm-hmm. He already knew about it, but he just wanted to save his friends. Yeah, And the thing is, the end of the movie leads me to believe that they wouldn't really care that they lost the money. I mean, they would, but because they're all still hanging out, like that was kind of a thing in this, is when, they reconciled Mark and Simon. It was more like, hey, remember all the great times we had, and like, I don't blame you for stealing the money. Like, it wasn't really about the money anymore. And he did talk about, like, oh, like when Begbie shows up, he's like, oh, we're gonna kill him, and I saw the little bastard and all this, but I really don't think that he was trying to, fuck him over. Because really, if you think about it, Simon didn't ever really tell Begbie where Mark was.
Yeah, he said lay low. He was I think he was going to send him to Amsterdam on Wild Goose Chase.
Looking for him, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still have friends from high school that, and there are a few I've lost touch with. I would say I wouldn't have the type of connection that Simon and Renton had when they first meet again, where they just go over what's going on in their lives and then they beat the shit out of each other. That wouldn't happen. But, like, I get what they're saying is, like, there should have been maybe a little bit more of strain because they haven't seen each other in so long, and he screwed Simon over. He did give at least Spud the $4,000. Spud just happened to throw it away because he's a junkie.
Right.
But... yeah.
And he resented Mark for it. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, you left me 4,000 pounds. I was a smackhead. Like, what was I going to do with it? He says, you ruined my life. Now you're ruining my death. Like, I don't think it is the first movie, but it's also not the first movie, like, at all. Like, the tone is completely different, to me anyway.
Like, that's what you know and loved. Like, so you wouldn't expect to get that in a sequel? Like, that's what doesn't make any sense to me, these people that are knocking it.
Right. And I guess the other thing I'd say is, yeah, there's homages to the first one, but they're so fucking tasteful. Like, they couldn't be any more, like, perfect to me.
And some of them are so subtle, too.
Right.
Like, they're not just, like, throwing it in your face. Like... Mark goes into that bathroom at the club,
right, and
goes right by a toilet, a fucking gross-ass toilet, that looks very, very similar.
So here's a subtle thing. The beginning, when it shows the kids playing soccer, and it's all them when they were kids, did you realize what the song that was playing is? Mm-mm. It's a light piano rendition of Perfect Day.
Oh, really?
Which played when he OD'd and sank into the fucking floor in the first one. Just a nice a subtle thing.
Let's say, one last comment. I really didn't like the character of Veronica.
You didn't like her?
Like, I mean, I get it. She's doing it for her family. She's not exactly the most stand-up person, but really she just emotionally abused people who were already emotionally abused. She's not a good character. Like,
A good person?
A good person, let alone one, she's not a good person. Two, I don't think she's a good character.
Well, if you think about it, I think most of the main characters in this are degenerates. So,
She fit right in, kind of.
Yeah.
She just wasn't fleshed out enough?
No, I don't think so.
I would agree with that.
You kind of have to... Like, for me, I kind of just assumed that Simon was probably one of the first people that she met, and you just kind of fall into that crowd.
Yeah.
And then over time, she'd kind of just gotten tired of his shit and meets Mark and sees an opportunity to take off, but that's also you kind of making up the rest of the story, which isn't, in a movie, you shouldn't have to do that.
And
what I mean?
She's a working girl. She's a whore.
She is.
I just like how you tried to dance
she's
around it.
She's a woman
Worker,
of the night.
Working girl. She's a whore.
But
I'm going to make t-shirts of that.
But
worker.
Then she sleeps with Simon one time. Like, she's like, he didn't pay for it. One time we actually slept together. But then that was it. I was like, it's done. And then she sleeps with Mark, which you saw that coming the whole time. Like, I thought it'd be a bigger plot point that they, he was stealing her from him. But
yeah, I thought that was going to play a bigger part too.
So actually, I'm kind of a little disappointed that didn't come to be. Which, at the same time, I was like, well, that's poetic justice because they both shared the same girl for their first time as well.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, Simon mentions that, so that they slept with the same girl, and that was each their first time.
Oh, I just thought it was kind of foreshadowing. Like he goes, "So, what do you think of Veronica?" She goes, "Yeah, she's nice or whatever." He goes, "Well, she's my girlfriend, so."
But I mean, she's not a good person, but she's also just not a good character. I didn't think she was very well fleshed out. Because anytime that her and, like, Renton are sitting there talking, and it's pretty much him talking. He's elaborating. He's doing all that. She'll throw in some stuff every so often, but she's kind of just there. She's a soundboard for both of them. And a little bit of comedic relief, especially when they're becoming better friends again. So.
All right, fair enough.
Do we want to go scenes?
Sure.
Okay, Jake.
There's a lot of, I'd even call them iconic scenes that I'm always going to remember. But the one that hits me the most is when Spud actually goes back to his wife's place to get, at the time you don't know, but he goes and gets a package, and they're playing that Born Slippy Underground whatever song again, and just real subtle, and it's making you think of, like, the first movie, and he kind of goes and gets this package, and he leaves, and you see his kid kind of watching him out the window, and he kind of tenses up, like maybe he resents Spud. Never really gets into details about how he feels about it. But Spud gets back to his kind of shitty apartment and dumps all this stuff out on the floor. And you find out it's pictures of, like, all the good times that they had. And it actually looks like all the actors from back, like, maybe they're shot from, like, when they were filming the first movie, which I thought was pretty
Set
cool.
photos.
Yeah, like it's them. Like, you could tell that it's real pictures of them, and he's kind of just making a collage, and it's sad.
I think it also helped him to start writing his stories. I think he's used it as a muse.
Right, give him inspiration, but it's also like I don't know, for me, it was his apartment, there's, like, nothing there. Like, you don't know what Spud cares about, really, and you can tell that, this is something he cherishes. So it hit me really hard.
Drew?
I can't think of one off the top of my head right now.
Okay.
Go for it.
For me, it's a small scene, but it's when Renton first comes back, and he's walking through the town. he gets off the plane. He asks this woman where she's from, and she says, "What, Slovenia?" And he's like, "Okay." And it's just weird to him. And then he's looking at all these places, and it just doesn't look the same to him. He gets home, and like I talked about that scene where he's sitting at the table with his dad, and you see the silhouette of his mother in the chair, and you're just like, wow, that's a hell of a shot. And you're just like, wow, time has passed. I mean, you can even tell his dad has aged. And then he goes into his room, and you're like, okay, I remember being here. And then he throws on that record, but then he has to take it off right away because it just, I don't know if it brought back too many memories or what. It's a strong, somber opening for Renton in my mind. So, and it kind of sets the tone of the film and kind of the underlying meaning of the film.
I'd probably say I love, from the first movie, I love the whole intro that Mark Renton does. Choose life, choose all this stuff. And I didn't know that they were making light of an anti-drug ad when they did that. And he goes and does it again. He says he's talking with Veronica, and she says, what's choose life? Simon is always saying choose life. And he goes into that long spiel about all this relevant stuff that he's actually talking about, don't regret what you've done. What did he say, Jake? I don't...
Choose designer lingerie, choose Facebook and live tweeting from your wank to your deathbed, and goes off on a tangent like he always does, but then it goes off in a more somber...
In a more personal way.
Right.
I don't know, just the way he goes about presenting it, he says it in such a way that's it's very thought-provoking, and he it's very eloquent.
Yeah. Poignant.
Yeah. And it really kind of makes you stop and think. You're like, wow. Like, a lot of it's ironic stuff. Like, I think he says, choose an iPhone made in China by a woman who jumped out of a window and stick it in the pocket of your jacket fresh from a South Asian fire trap. Like,
right. Some dark stuff.
Yeah. Like...
That personal bit, though, is great. Because it cuts to the shot of him laying in bed, and he's like, choose, longing for what you couldn't have, and choose watching your parents die, and, with them a little piece of yourself, and not knowing what's left, and you're like, fuck.
Choose the slow reconciliation towards what you can get rather than what you always hope for. Settle for less and keep a brave face on it. Choose disappointment and choose losing the ones you love. Then as they fall from view, a piece of you dies with them until you can see that one day in the future. Piece by piece, they'll all be gone, and there'll be nothing left of you to call alive or dead.
Some deep shit.
Yeah. I don't know, I just always like that and kind of the message it presents. It really makes you stop and think.
Right. Gives you a lot of insight into Mark.
Yeah.
Not that we didn't know who Mark was, but
no,
we haven't seen him in 20 years. Okay.
Any fun facts or anything about this? It made $41.5 million on $18 million budget. I don't remember this getting much of a United States release.
No. Do you remember the nightmare of me trying to go see this in the movie theater? Because the release dates were all fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
When it was promoted, it said, February 2nd, and I literally went to Alamo and was asking them, where the fuck is Trainspotting? And they're like, it's not out yet. It was the release date in the UK, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then, I kept getting dates that were wrong for here. And then, I want to say it came and went. It was, 2 weeks in the theater, and then it was gone. At least locally, our theater. But I did go the first day that I could, and I loved it. Because I never would have forgiven myself if I didn't see it in the theater.
Yeah, you kept talking that up. You're like, I want to go see Trainspotting 2 this weekend. I was like, how was it? And you're like, it's not out yet.
Yeah, it didn't come out. It was driving me fucking crazy. Then I got paranoid. I'm like, is it just not going to come to Nebraska? Because that'll happen sometimes.
Yeah.
If it ends up not getting a wide release, we probably would have been fucked.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of trivia, this was the first time that Ewan McGregor worked with Danny Boyle since 1997. Because Ewan McGregor got really mad that Leonardo DiCaprio was in The Beach.
Really?
Yep. He was super fucking pissed, I guess. And, yeah,
When he was mad that he didn't cast him?
that he didn't talk to him about it. He just went and got Leonardo DiCaprio. Ewan McGregor was like, what the fuck? And I guess he held a fucking grudge. For real.
But that movie's not that good, though.
I don't hate The Beach.
I don't hate it. It's
I've
just
never
not
seen
like, it's not, I don't know. It's just not a like critically acclaimed movie.
Yeah. It's not outstanding.
I guess, like, according to IMDb, some of the stories that Spud reads are actual direct
Lines from the book.
Trainspotting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but all right, I think then we can go into reviews. Jake, this was your film.
I don't know what people wanted out of a sequel. Like I guess I can empathize with the people that say that it didn't need a sequel, but I don't think this is an example of a director cashing in on something just to get money. I mean, it's just it feels too heartfelt and personal. It wasn't a quick, let's roll this out and see what we can get. And it would also kind of be a weird movie to try to do that. But I have zero indication that Danny Boyle is that type of person. I thought the acting was great. I thought the actors were literally like going through the same shit the audience was going through, like in terms of holy shit, the nostalgia. Like, look where we are right now. Look how we've aged. Like, how we've grown as people. Like, I don't even know like what to say. Like, it blew my mind watching it in the theater, and I might be biased because I hold the first in such high regard, but I couldn't imagine getting a better follow-up to the first one. I love it. I'd give it a 9.5.
Me or you, Drew?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a great follow-up to a film that Jake, picked and allowed me to see for the first time. Vastly different in tones because of the situation change from being drug addicts, degenerates trying to score one time big, to now being the fallout of that and the fallout of the friendships, and then just being older and having lived their lives without each other for the most part, because Begbie's been in jail, Spud's was with his family and then went back to being an addict, and Sick Boy Simon took over his aunt's business, and Renton pretty much lived in Amsterdam in exile because of what he knew he did to his friends, and just them coming back. And like Jake said, I don't think this was to make a buck. I think it was to tell a story of characters people knew and cared about, and saying, hey, this is what happened to him 20 years later. And they kind of almost end up exactly where they were at the beginning of the first film, just less drugs. But
which is also very Clerks too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, maybe not the drugs.
Yeah. Minus the drugs. I mean, there was some reefer in both of those, but
not real drugs.
No. Not hard drugs. But yeah, I think it's very well done. It is a great follow-up. Like I said, there were some issues. I wish there was some more follow-up with some of the other characters, or they had given more than just a simple nod to them. But I'm sure that was just some of the mixing with another story that had been written and like trying to cross the two together. I give it an 8.3.
I've never seen this movie. I was pumped that they were actually getting a sequel for this. Danny Boyle's a hell of a director. Dude definitely knows what he's doing. But I thought this was a faithful follow-up and a successful follow-up to Trainspotting. The acting's great. I can't say how much I love the shots in this. It's done in such a way that it's nothing short of spectacular. One thing that I don't think we've mentioned it a couple times, but I love the music choice. Like every song is so good, and the way the scenes they pick the particular music for just works so well for what's going on screen. And I just remembered there was a better scene that I wanted to say for my favorite scene that the
Spud scene.
No. We didn't even touch on it. We didn't even say anything about it.
What is it?
It's when Simon and Mark, they get that scheme to go to that bar with the people that are obsessed over that that old timey war. And they're pickpocketing everybody's jackets, everybody's purses, credit card, ATM cards, and all this shit. And they obsess over a war that happened in 1690, the Protestants versus the Catholics. And while they're doing all this, they're trying to get out of there with everybody's credit card information or ATM cards. The guy won't let him leave. He goes, "Why don't you sing us a song? I've never seen you there before." So fucking sick boy gets on the piano and is playing like this one chord, just one chord and like a 6-second pause, and then Mark's got to try and figure out how to sing a song with this.
Right.
And so he goes, "No, play it with some rhythm," and so he kind of, gives it some vamping, and Mark fucking makes something up on the spot, and they fucking love it.
Catholics.
Yeah. Where the Protestants actually beat the Catholics. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he just comes up with that song, "No More Catholics," just right on the fly, and they make out with everybody's ATM cards. And then on top of that, they go to the ATM machine. They know the pins because it's the fucking date of the war these people are obsessed with.
Right.
Not only that, they get the money from that, and then they wait till midnight to get the daily cash withdrawal for the ATM. Right. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah. It was smart.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely my favorite scene, now that I think about it. But, no, I mean, it's I don't see what all the shit-talking and stuff is about. It's a great movie. If you like the first one, this is right in the same veins. I love
Unintended?
Oh yeah, not even. But I'm
very clever.
I'll take credit for it.
Yeah.
No,
right in the same veins.
Yeah, I think it's great. 8.8.
All right. So next week is that infamous number 69, and it's Drew's pick.
Well, we've already kind of spoiled it a little bit. I want to, get in the right mood. You're feeling that 69. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a Mark Wahlberg classic.
Transformers 4.
No.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Mark Wahlberg classics.
No.
The other guys is pretty damn good.
Burt Reynolds, Heather Graham, John C. Reilly, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Boogie Nights.
You have no idea what you're getting into.
No, I have no clue.
I'm so excited.
I'm a star.
Dude, your fucking face is gonna melt.
Okay.
Because you're like, porn. Kind of porn. I mean, yeah, you're getting porn, but wow. This fucking movie. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, then for 70, I'll just pick a porn, and we can compare the two.
That sounds good.
I'll allow it.
All right.
You have to go find that Flintstones parody.
Oh, yeah.
Does Dino get involved?
I don't know. Do you want him to get involved?
How do you cast Dino, by the way?
How do you cast Dino?
Yeah.
You animate Dino.
You just put a dog in a dinosaur costume?
Or you just put somebody in a giant dinosaur costume.
That would probably be better. And you'd have less restrictions due to animal cruelty laws.
Mm-hmm. You paint them purple.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Hey, if it was Mexico, they would have gone for it.
Oh my gosh.
I miss my donkey.
All right. So, like, share, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, email, TJD, movies. What is it, man?
What is it, Ty?
You gotta lay off the heroin.
I do.
TJD movie reviews
at gmail.com.
YouTube.
Libsyn. iTunes. Your favorite podcast app.
We have a Facebook page.
Yes. A Twitter page.
We have a Twitter. Well, not a page. How does Twitter work? Well,
It's
we
a
have
Twitter
one.
page.
Yeah,
We have our own page.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what goes up on there, but
not a lot.
interact with us on some sort of level.
Yeah, tell us
Flintstone porn, I guess now.
if we offend you, because we have no barometer for that.
No.
Nope.
We
Just
get no reactions. Now here come all the SJWs on their soapboxes.
Oh, that would be bad for us.
Yeah.
I got thrown through a glass door. Fuck off. What?
What?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay. So I think that'll do it for this week. I'm Ty.
Jake.
And I'm Drew.
Bye.
Bye.